motors. I've got enough of them, folks. I've got enough of them. And I've dragged them all out of the drum over here. You may remember this one. This is now empty. And here are all those motors. So I'm going to do these a little bit at a time. So yesterday I wasn't doing too much, playing with the fire pit. So I thought, what the heck? I went about and I removed all the screws from all these electric motors to bring me up to the next part of the process of breaking them down. Now, as you can see, they're all cast alley motors, whereas these ones here, they're only partially cast aluminium. This part here is steel. A motor that is all steel, I don't bother to scrap and strip down, but if they've got cast alley ends or have a full cast alley case, then those I will strip down to the absolute bare knuckles. So let's get started on my next step. It's pretty good to me. It'll be copper, I can guarantee it. And there she goes. Crap on the floor, pick that up after. Oh, where's my steel bucket? Oi, oi. Oh. It's clean. And there she goes. Beautiful. There, out of the way as well. Need a bucket for these. Where's me bucket? I need a bucket. Alright, bucket's in place. Everything's good. Metal, buckets in there, rubber. Oh, come on. Clean cast. Wrong bucket, you idiot. And now. Oi. Crikey. How'd they get that in? Let's see. Well, they got in there, but right. Looking good. Another one. That one first. Oh. Lovely. Here. I don't know, some people seem to get like a dirty alley price for this, but I just chuck it in as a shred. Couldn't care less, to be honest. It's good enough for me. Right, another one. It's a bit of shit. Alright. Hello, Big Papa Bear. Big Papa Bear. Right. It's pretty straightforward. Find out, eh? Find out. Yeah. Straightforward is good. Go. You're still there. Beautiful. Big Papa Bear. But looks like I'm going to have to cut this open or get the cold chisel and give it a bit of a whack. A bit of metal again. No, that's just a bit of shit, that one. That. It's not a bad bucket of cast alley I got there to go with the ceiling fans. Cast alley ceiling fans. Dirty hands and all that. Don't know how many kilos are there. Don't mind my hiccups either. Couple kilos. Guess we can have a quick look, eh? Just before we weigh up that bucket of cast alley, before I said I don't have a vise. So, this is my alternative. I just did one off camera to make sure it worked. Don't want to look a goose, but it doesn't mean I still can't look a goose. But it worked. So hopefully it works again. Oh, timber. You can see it's lifting, it'll pop off. There we have it. No vise, no problem. There's another cap here. Get that off. What's going on there? This cap's got a hole in it. Okay, right. Shit here, grease. Old grease. That's alright, no big deal. The cap goes here. Beautiful. Now, get this part out here. Yeah. Better. Wonderful. That'll do. Just chuck her on the scale, which is over there. And well, let's just go for a walk. Forget it, let's go. Unreal. Right. There we go, all the way down. 14.5 kilos. It's like minus, oh gee, it'll be 12.9. I think that bucket weighs 1.6, maybe slightly less actually. Actually, it might not even be a kilo. Let's just call it 13.5, 13.5, just as a precaution. Still not too bad. And while we're at it, there they are, all laid out, waiting for me to do the next step. Probably should add too, which I forgot. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cases of cast aluminium still to add here. So I'll have a go at this off camera first to see if I can get that off. If I can't, then it's just going to remain dirty cast alley. But I reckon with that, and as we just saw, those other bits of cast aluminium, surely that's bound to put it up over 20 kilos. What do you reckon? Surely. I'll find out soon enough. Here's a little something interesting. It's off camera again. I was playing around with this thing here because, as I said, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get this out, but what I discovered is this. It might not look too much to you, but that was in the hole of both of them. So one in here and one in the other I've done off camera. Now this sort of brass here is what we call here in Australia gunmetal brass. The most expensive brass of them all. Who would have thought I would have found that in here? That's bloody unreal. Bargain. So, seeing I can do one off camera, let's try to do another. Right, tools. Well, that came out easier than the first one. The other one just ended up putting a hole through here, and then I had to pull it out with these things. Piece of cake, bro. Piece of cake. Now, I've cut some of these cast aluminium shells off. Now, as you would have seen earlier, some of those shells were really difficult to get off. And as I said, I'm most likely going to have to grind them off, as you can see, which I have. And sometimes you've just got to do what you got to do and get that grinder out, and that's your only option. But I've still got one more remaining. So I think we're sitting at roughly, 18 kilos in our cast alley right at this very moment. But I've still got that one more to cut, and then we can find out its total weight. That's it, right there. The only remaining one to cut the cast off. Everything else is all good to go. Although, in saying that, I've got to cut all this steel outside surrounding the copper. So I might just get a start on that, and we'll cut that cast alley shell off once I've got all the steel removed. Now, before we cut, just make sure you identify where the gap is between this steel and the steel holding the actual copper windings, and make your cut there so that you're not actually cutting the steel holding the windings. It's just unnecessary and it eats your blade pretty quick. Right there, I reckon. Got another couple of these motors too sitting around, which I've only just gotten, but I ain't doing them yet. Let's just start here first. The weather's not very friendly at the moment either. It's been raining on and off. So hopefully we don't get delayed too much. Oh, still there. You. Shoot there. What have we got here? Don't really see much of a gap on this one. Other than that right there. Yeah. Another way, dog. Another way. Kaput, I think. Just done a few off camera. Obviously you don't want to watch all of it, I'm sure. Move that out of the way. I want it to fall over. There we go. Hey, that's the last one of the steel. Just now the cast alley cased one. Right. Going to be the approach. Right in between this, the V here, and the V on the opposite side. That'll work. Told you it's windy. Let me go through. I don't think it has, but I've got an idea. Probably need to change the blade, to be honest, but I couldn't be bothered. I heard a crack. Very good. Open, shut the beauty. Now, I can get the final weigh up on this cast alley. Goes down there. Unreal. Now, I've just teared the bucket because I've got another one because just sitting down there empty. We've had some clean alley wire in it. Now you would have heard me earlier say I'm guessing there's going to be somewhere in the ballpark of 20 kilos in a cast alley here. Well, let me just navigate where we're going to go here. Navigate, and we'll flip this around. And there we have it all. As I said, all in a nice pile. Balancing act, like the dishes, in the dish rack. And there we have it. 19.6 kilos in cast alley. All clean. So that's bloody unreal. Now we can look the other way. And we can navigate through the mess. My carefully manicured walking path, and as we can see, the weather's turned to shit again. It's on and off, but they're all ready to go. So the next step is this. I was gonna say my next step is my mate Warren Davies, who was 40 years old, spray him around the copper, but just had a little bit of a brain fade because, well, I've actually got to cut one of the ends off the copper first, off these motors. I've got to cut one end off, and once I've got that one end off, then I can spray around the outside with my mate Warren Davies, who just turned 40. Okay, and we can let it sit there, and then that should be after a little while of soaking in, I should be able to knock them out with a hammer and just some vice grips. Piece of cake. There may be some struggling, but well, that's expected, I reckon. So You've still been watching. Good for you. You have my applause. But I think we're at the point where we need a little bit of a intermittent. Okay? An intermittent, just like at the movies, when you've seen one movie, it's time for a break. Before we start another, we need to have a bit of whatever you want to have before we go back and sit down. So this is the intermittent, okay? So that's enough. All right, I think you've seen enough of that shit. Far out. Now, I'm not going to show you me cutting every single one of these ends off, because I think it would get rather boring. And I'll put you all to sleep. Copper dust. I think my biggest issue, if I didn't say before, I can't remember. Batteries. That's why there could be a bit of a gap here, because I got at least one battery that I think has had it. I've got a couple charging. And now it's about to rain. Again. smell of the cutting, my friend. Smell of the cutting.
What are you gonna do with this copper?
I've got to sweep it up.
And where are you gonna put it
in my number 2 drum.
Sweeping.
Well, I think I better get ready because there could be some rain coming. Well, as you can see, folks, we are back and the weather is looking a hell of a lot better than what it did in the last part that you saw. Now, what we're looking at here is what? So yes, this is what we're doing. Okay, it's been a fair amount of time since I was doing these motors, but we are back again to continue the video that you are currently watching. And all I'm doing at this point, because all the ends of the copper have been cut off, and we are sitting on around about 10 kilos of copper from the ends of these motors. So all I'm doing now is I have WD-40 and I'm going around spraying. Okay. So you're probably wondering, oh, why are you doing that for, Dan? And I'll be thinking, oh wow, what a great question. But I'm doing it because these have been sitting out in the weather for quite a long time. I don't know, maybe 3 months or something like that. Okay. And with the method that I use to extract the copper from these motors, I need to make them come out as easy as possible because I do not have any form of hydraulics to help pull them out. I still do it pretty ancient by holding with a hammer. By holding with some grips and then bashing the outside with a hammer, as I will demonstrate once I'm done with all this spraying. But in the meantime, just so you know, this is what I'm doing for now. And you can get your own sort of idea on what may work for yourself as well later on. So I'm just going to spray all these, all of those, because I've already done all of those. And once they're all finished, I'm just going to let them sit there for a little while to allow the WD-40 to work its way down the sides and through the copper, and therefore when I grab it with the grips, hit it with a hammer on the outside, it should fall out a little easier than what it would have if I had done nothing. Well, that's how it's worked in the past anyway. Okay, so they're all done, and now it's time to wait. Hey, come here. Bloody dog. Bloody dog. So yeah, as I said, now it's time to wait. Let that WD-40 do its magic, if at all, and then we can come back and knock that copper out. Okay, so I've allowed the WD-40 to be penetrating into the little grooves here of these motors. I gave it, well, technically I gave it a day because that was the time I started actually getting stuck into it, but a couple days have now passed. So before I went to the scrapyard this morning, I just gave these just a, you know, a bit of a freshen up, and we're gonna get all Happy Gilmore again with more tapping, okay? And we're gonna chuck it all in there and we can do a bit of a weigh up. So yeah, technically speaking, depending on your yard, that won't be number 2 copper just yet.
But then again, for some of you, it may be number 2 as it sits. But for me, on the other hand, no. I've got to move all the string and the shit that's on it. But it doesn't really matter, as there is no real urgency to get this done, as it will just go in the holiday drum. So we will tap away, get the copper out, and we can weigh it up, because there's not a lot of weight. Well, there's not a lot of extra weight being made up here with this crap on it anyway. So, I mean, we can make a generous deduction to allow for it. So that way we can get a fair idea as to how much copper is there. So I've got me caveman tools. Okay, the hammer, these grips, and we're going to get put to work and knock this stuff out of the park. Let's go. Okay, getting all excited up there, playing their Minecraft or whatever it is they're doing. This one here, I've actually already cut the top off with the grinder. I went around the top with the grinder to cut all the rope. I actually cut the wrong end off. I was supposed to cut this end off with the grinder and leave that end on, but I stuffed up. Woo. Coming out of that one. Not how I wanted it to come out, but it'll do. Yeah, copper, there you go, rubbish there. Okay, let's get this little baby, got a little baby one, just a little baby. Little baby's not moving. Stubborn baby. Absolutely stubborn. Yeah, stubborn baby. There we go. Melvin. popping off. This one here. A little bit more convincing. It's getting there. Getting there, right? Shit flying everywhere too. Here, okay. This one here. Righty. It's been the hardest one of the lot so far. That's what we want. There we go. Exposure. That's what we want. Oh! Flying everywhere. There we go. Beautiful. There she goes. In your hop. Hoppity hoppity me. Stuff here. Frisbees. Frisbee. Oh, we're going to have rubbish. And more rubbish. I reckon I'll do one more on camera for you. And then after that, I don't think you really want to see any more of that, do you? I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, once you've seen one, you've got a fair idea on how to do the rest, right? It's all been explained now. All been explained. Let's have a look. Oh, maybe we can do this one. Why not? Pretty solid copy, this one. Okay. Squeeze it, don't do nothing. Well, we have movement. Oh yeah, they're coming. They're coming. Just work around it. Tap, tap, tappy. Everybody happy. Tap, tap, tappy. Everybody happy. Tap, tap, tappy. Everybody happy. All together now. Tap, tap, tappy. Everybody happy. 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 Oh yeah. Oh, all together now. There we go. Over here. That'll do it. Absolutely amazing. Steel. Heavy as crap steel. Hey, someone on a motorbike. Thinks it's in the MotoGP, but it sounds a bit crikey. Probably can't hear it on camera, but I can bloody hear it. Full noise. Oh. That's better. Always keep the workplace a little bit tidy. So folks, bear with me for a second. So folks, I'm going to continue on without you. You've been watching for long enough as it is. So we'll get this all done and then we'll come back and we'll weigh that copper. What do you say? Great idea? I couldn't agree more. Well, good news everyone. We're finally tapped away and we have finished the tapping, which is absolutely fantastic. And it's still daylight, so that means what? It didn't take me an awful amount of time, but still it took a little bit of time, but nothing outrageous. I mean, it's all part and parcel with the job, right? So we've finally got it all done. The copper's all stacked up behind me. I didn't think I was going to fit it all, but well, I have, sort of. And if you've been watching for the whole video, which, I don't know, I'm not going to be convinced if too many watch the whole length of the video, because it's going to be because it's quite long. But if you manage to stick around and ride out the whole thing, well, that is amazing. So chuffs to you guys if you did, but if you didn't, I can understand. I can understand, don't worry. Anyway, so I've wound up with more copper than I expected, because you would have heard me say that I was guessing roughly maybe 20 kilos. 20 kilos in copper, that was me guess, okay? And well, after stacking her all up, it was a pretty piss poor guess, I can tell you. So I'm going to spin this camera around and you're going to have a look at the beautiful, beautiful copper that we've got stacked there for you to see. There it is. stacked up nice and high. Now, off camera, I already teared this plastic bucket because we've got that one over there, which is empty. It had brass in it, but I emptied that when I did my scrap sell off today. And you're probably questioning, oh, you've got red. Okay, yes, you're damn right I got red. Now, often this red copper here, if unchecked, is usually aluminium, but oh no, this is not aluminium, folks. That is copper. Okay, so that was a good result. And after all this, you're probably wondering, yeah, all right, how much does it weigh, Dan? How much? And that's a great question, because I'm about to show you. Not a bad weight. More than what I had thought, that's for sure. So, yes, it's not very clean looking. I mean, yes, it's number 2 copper either way. But in order to give it that number 2 grade, for me, maybe not for you, but for me, I do have to remove all this shit and tape and cable, you know. So I will do that in my own time whenever I feel like it. No urgency about it because the holiday ain't till next year. So it's just filling drums of number 2 from stuff I actually put aside. And that's that. So let's just be generous and say by the time we've removed tape, little tiny bits of cable and string and whatever else, let's call it 34 kilos, okay? Now, I think that's incredibly generous, taking away 1.6 kilo, okay? Incredibly generous. So our 34 kilos in number 2 copper is what we're going to be at. And I don't know. What's that worth in right now? What is that worth? Oh, gee, let's think. Let's just call, oh no, for roughly around about $460. It's probably a little bit more for me, but I'm not going to sit there working it down to the dollar, to the cents, because I've only just given it a rough price of what number 2 was. But we're working on at least, yeah, gee, 260, 390, yeah, at least $450. So not too bad. Not too bad at all. So let's just turn this camera back to me again. So I'm gonna wrap this video up. It's finally finished. Months in the making. Months. And you know, I've got a drum in the backyard with the same motors, about half full already. Well, not already, but you know, it's going to be soon enough where I'll have to start again. But in the meantime, I can celebrate the ending of this video, put it to rest, and say, yeah, great job, Dan. Marvellous effort that. And I can get back to the football. So, time for me to peace out. Thanks for watching if you did. Like and subscribe if you can. And, well, other than that, have a fantastic weekend, folks. So, see you in another video sometime soon, hopefully. And it's ciao for now. See you later.